Payday. You want payday? I know that. Canelo Alvarez versus Crawford, ego thoughts, because I got more to say. Now, I've made some videos. First of all, the fight's not done. Contrary to what you may hear from posts on Instagram, YouTubers, content creators, or whatever, there is no actual finalized fight. So I don't like to get into the business of overly exploring fights when there is no fight. But this seems to be a hot topic, so the fans run my channel. We're going to talk about it. Made some videos about the prospects of Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford at 168. And different people are saying different things. Fans, some people are picking Crawford, some people are saying Canelo destroys Crawford. Timothy Bradley made a video about it. He says that Crawford would beat the brakes and beat the ish out of Canelo, which to me is a stretch because I don't personally see Crawford, without acclimating, moving up 14 more pounds when he only has one fight at 154. And we're not talking about just beat Canelo by outboxing him, but we're talking about win on the scorecards and knock him out and beat the ish out of him. These are different things. Like, a guy can win a fight and basically outbox someone, but you didn't really beat the ish out of him. So Tim Bradley, his commentary is not good to me in general because he's far too radical, saying stuff like that. Beat the ish, no explanation. It's just, I'm gonna just drop this off. So people have been talking about the fight. I've made a couple videos about the fight, and I noticed a pattern which I had to make it known in this video. The Bud Buddies, the Terence Crawford diehards, they keep double downing on something, and I find it funny, which we'll go over in the next 30 seconds. The Bud Buddies keep bringing up Canelo Alvarez and his tattered past with the clenbuterol failed drug test, right? I'm not here to defend and say, oh, it was the stakes. Canelo got to own that. He failed a drug test. I believe it was 2018, ahead of the Triple G.
Hell no, guys. Hey, Max, this guys is nothing. It's tick, tick, tick. Nah.
Right? He failed. So that's forever going to be a part of his story, and that asterisk by that. That's on him. I've made several videos. See, the great thing is I've been in the game so long where my track record speaks for itself. If you want to know how I gave Canelo the business regarding him failing with clenbuterol, check out those videos from 2018. So moving on, fast forward to the future, Canelo, he hasn't failed any more drug tests. He's back as him and Tank are like the faces of boxing, and people seem to have kind of gotten over it, and Canelo fights are just Canelo fights now, right? So what I've noticed from the Bud Buddies, they keep saying Canelo's a drug cheat, Canelo tested positive. Again, he does have that positive test, made videos about it when it was relevant. They also say, oh, Eddie Reynoso, he has a juicy, dirty dip. He has a juicy and dirty gym, right? Talking about Oscar Valdez, who had phentermine, Canelo, clenbuterol, Luis Nitty was there. He failed the test. There's a lot of people under that gym, under that roof, or was at some point, Ryan Garcia now with the Ostarine, that trained there and then later failed PED test. Fine. This is the point that doesn't make any sense. The Bud Buddies keep referencing Canelo's a cheat. He comes from a cheat gym. That's basically what they're saying. But in the same breath, they're pushing for Bud to move up 2, really 3, because I don't count only one fight at 154 as being properly acclimated. You didn't fight a champion like Sebastian Fundora. You fought a brand new champion in Madrimov, who's a good fighter, but he literally got the belt in March and you fought him a couple months later. So Sebastian Fundora is a different puzzle. And it's not just him. Murtazaev got the belt and then he crucified Tim Tszyu in a very shocking upset to some, and it was a brilliant performance by him, and he had one hand in that fight. So we haven't seen Crawford fight the Charlos, the Murtazaevs, and Funduras and Virgil Ortizes, or even a Madrimov rematch to see who can make better adjustments. Now, the same fans who keep bringing up Canelo's drug past and the cheat past, they're also suggesting that Canelo is ducking if he doesn't fight Terence Crawford. So my question, what doesn't make sense to me, is why do you want Crawford to fight the guy you're saying is a cheat, once a cheat, always a cheat, comes from a cheat gym? That makes absolutely no sense, especially knowing that Canelo Alvarez would have the weight and strength advantage. I don't see too many people disagreeing with that. Certainly the weight advantage. You could say Crawford about the same size, but again, he just got to 54. It's not the same as Canelo, who spent several fights at 54 and 55 Canelo weight, moved up to 160, got some fights there, beat Danny Jacobs there in the unification, moved up to 68 and 75, had a catch weight of 164.5 versus Chavez Jr. So the bottom line is Canelo, for a longer period of time in several fights, has fought higher than 154 pounds. Crawford came from lightweight. He has point blank period. So I know some people want me to lose because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. I know there's content creators that they want my position so bad. They want to be just like me. I wear glasses, they wear glasses. I wear beanie and hats, they wear beanie and hats. I say this, I have this demeanor, I talk like this, they want to do it. I get it. But you're going to have to put some work in. First of all, you got to be yourself. Second of all, when it comes to the best in the business, your boxing talk got to be on point and it got to make sense. And what I'm seeing from the Bud Buddies, it's not making sense. Bringing up Canelo being a drug cheat or whatever, that's a factual moment in Canelo's career. I've already went over that. If that's the case, and if that's your talking point, why do you want Bud to be disadvantaged and fight at 168 versus the drug cheat? Meanwhile, I'm acknowledging Canelo has failed the clenbuterol test in 2018, but I told you I also don't really care to see the fight like some people. I'm not as excited. I think there's fights that make more sense. If they fight, they fight. I don't get in the way of fight. But that is the question, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with in the comment section as far as why the Bud Buddies keep talking about Eddie Reynoso's gym is dirty, Canelo's a cheat and he's dirty, but then you also are pushing your man's Crawford to move up to a division he's never fought at age 37 to fight Mr. Clenbuterol. That don't even make sense to me. And I was just thinking about that because that's what I do. I cover boxing and I'm damn good. So please make that make sense as to why people are using this as a talking point, but then also pushing for the fight and want to see Crawford move up. This is not a video game and people are treating it like that. You want to see a 60-year-old Mike Tyson versus someone 30 years younger and bigger than him at this point in time, who's been more actively fighting like Jake Paul. People are treating boxing like that, where you could just get an MMA fighter and a boxer and that's supposed to be a great fight. You could get this washed up fighter and a ninja and then put them in the ring and that's supposed to be a great fight. You could have like age variances and people from different weights or intergender contests where a man fights a woman. I've seen in Russia, they had 2 women versus this big dude. Like, that's what combat sports is looking like right now. And I think we got to make certain things make a bit more sense. The Crawford-Canelo fight, to me, it is a novelty fight just because they have names and they're respected, but it doesn't really make sense. But to the Bud Buddies who say it does make sense, why are you focused on Canelo being a cheat, but you clearly like Terence Crawford and you want him to fight the cheat? Like, I would never send my homie if I'm like, this building, they strapped up, they got rocket launchers and machine guns. Why would you want to send your person, if you're a cop or a security guard, why would you want to send them by themselves to that building where you know the cartel's at with all this high-powered machinery and this arsenal? You know, and that's kind of what it is with Terence Crawford. You keep calling Canelo a cheat and saying he's dirty and stuff. Fine, I'm not even going to debate that. Whatever. But why do you want to see Crawford do something that's not really normal, which is bypass several weight classes I mean, look at Broner. And I'm not saying that Crawford is Broner. They fight different, etc. Broner had a split decision with Paulie Malignaggi. He went from lightweight to 147. That Paulie fight was tough. If it wasn't, it shouldn't have been a split decision. In his next fight, he lost to Marcos Maidana. Maidana, you could argue Broner at the point had better skills, more athletic, younger, but Maidana had that strength, you know what I mean? And I don't know how many times history has to repeat itself for people to get the message, but boxing fans continue to act foolish. Like, people will say there's a certain fight that's a done deal, and then 2 days later, oh, the fight fell apart. How many times do boxing fans need to fall for the same thing? How many times have we seen novelty fights and exactly how you thought they should play out, that's exactly how they do play out? Mikey Garcia, I told you he's not going to beat Errol Spence. Talented fighter, doing all that move up. I said when Mikey first started calling out Errol Spence Jr., that was a bad idea. It sounded like he was joking or something when he said it on that radio show. And then he just kept calling for it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. They're going to make a big event out of it. AT&T Stadium. So Mikey talked himself into that fight. The network's seen it and they said we can make some money off it. Boom. I went to the fight. I had a good time, at the event. But that was very predictable. That's because Mikey, he didn't acclimate to 47 and you're fighting the top guy. I don't know. I respect Crawford. I think he can fight, but I don't know what you guys think this is. It's like if Devin Haney is a top guy at 35 and he just jumps up to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, or he's at 40 now and he jumps up to fight Virgil Ortiz at 154. Just even if you think Virgil Ortiz is lesser skilled than Devin, Virgil is bigger, stronger, with more fights at higher weight classes. This is like, to me, common sense, but people think that Crawford is a unicorn and their curiosity is getting the best of them. But I just don't see that being a favorable fight that needs to happen. That's just my honest opinion. But furthermore, I want you guys to answer the question posed in this video. If Canelo is a cheatson, why do you want to see Crawford move up to a disadvantaged weight to fight the cheater? Let me know.